all the countries' EEZs intersect, which creates the issue.
The current issue that is going on in our country, no?
The dispute between China and several other Southeast Asian nations, which include us, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. According to the maritime law, nations can only have 200 nautical miles from the country's coast. But China is claiming that they own 90% of the South China Sea, which is breaking the maritime law and taking other nations' claim territory.
The South China Sea is $4 or $5 trillion dollars of global trade. Our country, China, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam want to. We're fighting for the sea, and the South China Sea is for 11 barrels of oil and approximately 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. And at the end, what we want is we wanna have rights for fishing, explore, and extract oil from the sea.
So the issue is that China doesn't want to take over the South China Sea. The issue involves everyone here, including us, and it also includes Taiwan and Brunei. Basically, China is trying to expand their 9-dash lines and easy lines, which can interfere into everyone else's territories. So you guys are trying to take everyone's natural resources. If someone finds it, there can be a border dispute over where it is, whose nautical miles is in. So far, we, the United States, do not want any part of a conflict, but we will be able to be open to finding a solution that will satisfy just about everyone here.
China urged us to take a calm and rational view of their military drills after we expressed opposition as tensions between the neighbors worsened over the disputed strategic waterways. So we suspended all oil drilling in offshore waters that are also claimed by China because we were concerned about the exercises at the end of the South China Sea. Therefore, all foreign activities in our country must comply with us and international laws.
The land in the South China Sea. The land in the 9-dash line and the Spratly Islands belongs to us. We have a historical past with the land, therefore should have the sovereign right of keeping it. We are a way larger population than most of our neighbors. We have a population of 1.386 billion people and continue to grow. We are the world's largest exporters and second largest importers in the world. We have the fastest growing consumer market. We aren't taking away land from people. We are just claiming what's ours. Thank you.
Okay. China claims that our islands are theirs, but they have always been regarding as ours for a long time. Wait, I forgot. Okay. There are certain rocks which we have developed into islands, and we hope that we will stay on those islands because it is a part of our keeping the sea safe from pirates and others. We also have conflicting claims with China, which has laid claim to almost the entire South China Sea. Last month, China's Air Force landed bombers on disputed islands and reefs at South China Sea as a military exercise. Tensions escalated further after this. Warships create tension, and the water should be patrolled by small boats. If anyone wants to participate with small boats, anyone can.
China is infringing our territory in claiming the Spratly Islands as theirs, with the argument that historically the South China Sea belongs to them. Nevertheless, these islands are inside of our EEZ. China has claimed to be here on peaceful terms, but their actions have showed otherwise. They've started militarizing these islands, adding military posts, anti-aircraft defenses, airstrips, and military coast guards. An international tribunal, the Haji, delivered a rebuke over China's illegal behavior in the South China Sea. The tribunal rejected the argument that China enjoys historic rights over the South China Sea. The tribunal said that China has violated international laws by causing irreparable damage to to the marine environment, endangering our ships, interfering with our fishing and oil explorations, as well as endangering sea turtles. China refused to participate in the tribunal's proceedings, and in defiance to the tribunal, they've started building more islands in our underwater reefs. China also said that the tribunal had no jurisdiction over the case, and that they will not back down their activities even if they have to face a fleet of American aircraft carriers.
If you're more comfortable reading Ashley, read. No, you don't want to read? Are we saying anything?
Is basically an ally or a potential ally. But if we choose sides, if we side with China, we're gonna lose everyone here, which could, if you guys could probably become allies and attack us. But if we lose China, we will, our economy will slightly collapse. They will probably be firing their missiles at us or like just getting ready to attack us. And we do not want that. So our issue is here that we're kind of caught in the middle. We don't want to lose any resources, nor do we want to lose any allies.
Company that drills for oil is straddling on both sides of our 200 nautical miles EEZ zone, but it is challenged by China, who is building islands for its military to extend the nautical miles. Our country wants to challenge China's mission to turn the South China Sea to our own sea. We hotly dispute China's historical account, saying China had never claimed sovereignty over the islands before the 1940s. Our country says that it is actively ruled over both the Paracels and the Sparties since the 17th century, even has documents to prove it. The company agreed to suspend the project which benefited the South China Sea. We Vietnam want to challenge China's mission to turn the China Sea to our own sea.
The problem that is occurring is the other countries are trying to take over the land that our ancestors have explored first. Therefore, we have full control over the South China Sea. We have expanded our EEZ by making our own islands where people are currently living in, therefore making them part of our country. Your tribunals have no effect on us because we still consider the 9-dash line as our historical land. Thank you.
Okay, so in 2013, we brought up a case against how your 9-dash line is illegal. The tribunal is in our favor of our claims because it's taking over our sovereign rights. The tribunal also stated that you guys have no historical rights over the sea, and that we have our own dedicated EEZs for this time that we have. It violates the agreement we made with them, but we have a compromise that we take 51% of our section back, while you guys take the remaining 49%. Thank you.
China boycotted the proceedings, saying that the tribunal had no jurisdiction, and that it would ignore any decision it reiterated after the ruling came out. South China Sea greatest value is a trade rule according to the 2015 Department of Defense report. 5.3 trillion worth of goods move through the sea every year, which is about 30% of the global maritime trade. That includes huge amounts of oil and 1.2 trillion worth of annual trade with the United States, and we would like to negotiate the 30% of global maritime trade with the rest of the countries at this meeting.
I've decided and thought about working hard to keep and also make the Spratly Islands part of China's territory. We have also decided to have also decided to keep the EE zone, and we will not be interfering with any outside countries as long as the outside countries do not interfere with the task we're trying to accomplish. We believe as a country that it is now restricted to have any outside countries inhibit with the exclusive economic zone with China.
We want this policy because we don't want any outside countries' ships interfering with the EEZ zone. And if no ships interfere with us, then we will not interfere with any other EEZ zones of the surrounding countries.
We will not attack any country unless they enter our 200 EEZ zone, and we will keep militarizing our islands just in case any other country wants to enter our zone and attack us.
Our country will try to solve this problem by changing the name of the South China Seas and talking it out with China.
Okay, the steps to change the South China Sea name would be by having a good alliance with China. By having a good alliance with China, it can be an advantage for us for the South China Sea.
We are offering a policy allowing both China and us to share the resources found in Scarborough Shoal. With us getting 51-49% could help pacify our issues, and it won't be definitive and will be available for other generations to come. We are not surrendering the tribunal decision because of the violations of our sovereign rights.
This would enable both parties to peacefully work out our problems and avoid any more conflict brought on by us going against China. Not only this, but the newfound partnership could, as he said, allow other generations to help solve this.
This is our best policy we'll offer. So either you apply or we bring the United States with us.
What we would like to accomplish is defending our open shipping routes, avoiding escalation or war with China, and maintaining regional alliances, and making sure that our economy is either the same or getting better. So we would like to recommend the military disengagement policy. This policy does minimize the potential for war, but it also could have economic consequences and could weaken our rules, saying that China can do whatever they want with the sea. But if anybody would also have an argument with us, we would also have to be with them because we were agreeing with China.
We, the United States, believe that the military disengagement policy because we would make China pay more. We would also minimize the potential for war. Finally, we could decrease its presence in the region by pulling back troops, seizing patrols of the waters, and reducing military aid to Asian countries. But we might fail because they would stop trading with us. We would also have terrible economic consequences. So they could weaken our rules, and if we were to give them our power, it would make us look weak for other arguments.
Basically, we're at a standstill with China and the surrounding countries of the East China Sea. It is hard to come up with a concrete step because if we decide to help our allies, China will feel threatened and will decide to use their naval fleet. As for the other three countries, if we side with China, we will break the trust with them and further uphold China's power. The U.S. needs to somehow structuralize an agreement with China or deal to polish that can please China and help the other countries on their side of the border.
All in all, it will be impossible to get a fair solution just working by ourselves. Therefore, what we recommend is that we want to invite Malaysia, the Philippines, and the United States to come together and go up against China to prevent them from cleaning out of the South China Sea for themselves. Still, China is facing international pressure. Whether China chooses to deny or comply with that pressure, though, could help to shape its place in the international community.